What's up, kings and queens? It's your girl 𝐻𝐪. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, what's good? If you're looking into getting your finances in order or even evaluating your current plan, keep watching. Happy Wealth Wednesday, peeps. Today's topic is all about the basics of financial planning. Before we get into this loaded topic, please do me a huge favor and give this video a like and share. Also, be sure that you are subscribed to my channel. If not, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, tap that notification bell so that you don't miss any upload. Alright guys, so let's get into financial planning. Before we get started, I am not a financial advisor. I am just solely speaking on my personal experiences and or research, things that I have looked into myself or have taken classes on myself. But again, I am not a financial advisor or professional. I'm just speaking solely off research and experience. Let's get back to it. Let's start with the fundamentals. What is financial planning? By definition, financial planning is figuring out where you stand financially, identifying your financial goals, and then creating a strategy to reach those goals. So today I just want to map out the steps to take in your financial planning process. Step 1, set your goals. You have to know what you're working towards to identify how you're going to get there. So it's best to have clear and definitive goals that you want. Step 2, evaluate your current finances. Figure out your net worth. This is basic math, yeah? So examples of assets: cash, money that you have in your bank account, savings accounts, any of your investments, the value of your brand, if you have a brand, also any type of marketable securities that you may have. What else can be? If you own real estate, anything like that, anything that you own, yeah, those are considered assets. Notice that I did not mention your 401ks or your Roth IRAs, anything like that. Even though those are assets, they are not liquid assets. And what I mean by liquid is that they cannot be transferred into cash on demand, if that makes sense. So it is not something that you can tap into at any given time. So your 401ks, things like, and your IRAs, those are retirement investments. I didn't mention them basically because they're not considered, in this situation, they are not technically considered an asset. I hope I explained that okay. Comment below if you're still a little bit confused, and I can try and break that down just a little bit more. But they are basically retirement accounts funded by, you know, your investment assets, if that makes sense. Let me know if you're confused, because I think I just confused myself just trying to explain it. Anyway, moving along, it's a little tricky, so hopefully I didn't confuse anybody. So when you are evaluating your current finances and finding out your net worth, you take your assets, you subtract your liabilities. Liabilities are things that you owe to people. So that can be anything like bank overdraft fees or loans that you may have taken out, whether it's for a house or a car or a business or anything of that sort, like a loan. Or it can even be income taxes is considered, you know, a liability. What else? Those are just a few. Any type of outstanding expenses. Does that make sense? Yeah, so before I forget, when you are calculating your current finances, I personally would suggest using something like an Excel spreadsheet just so you can visually see. Obviously, you can write it down. If you want to do everything by hand, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to use something that's digital, an Excel spreadsheet work, and you're able to actually see everything, so you're able to calculate all of your assets and put those numbers in. You're able to calculate all of your liabilities, put those numbers in, and then do the math on there and actually pretty much let the computer work for you, so that you can get that visual and it's clear and you can see that in front of you. I prefer using Excel. Comment below if you have a different option. Yeah. Comment below if you would like a video in greater detail, the differences between assets and liabilities and what they all consist of, if I can break that down a little bit better, because I do feel like I kind of just maybe confused a few people with liquid assets and all that good stuff. So comment below if that would be a video you guys would be interested in, and I can definitely do that. All right, so moving along to step 3, figuring out your cash flow. You have to determine how much money you have coming in as well as how much money you have going out. The goal ultimately is to always have more money coming in than you have going out. Common sense, right? Some great ways to track your cash flow is by using certain apps. If you haven't done so, make sure you check out my best apps for budgeting and investing. Make sure I link that up here as well as in the description box if you're interested in apps that can help you track your cash flow and or budget or invest. So check that out. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that just because I've already done a video on it. So if you would like to refer back to that, feel free. In particular, I do talk about some of the best apps that will track your spending as well as help you to budget according to what you're spending. Step 4, your plan of action. Now that you've set your financial goals in place, you've evaluated your current finances, you now have to figure out exactly what your plan of action is. Be very detailed and specific when going about a strategic way to reach those goals. It is important when you put your plan of action into place to be as realistic as possible, or you're never going to reach the financial freedom that you want. And that's just a waste of time. It can be frustrating, it can be disheartening, and it just is not what you want to do. And it feels defeating. It's okay to start small. It's okay to take baby steps. As long as you're moving forward, that's way better than staying stagnant, and it's way better than going backwards. You're moving at your own pace. You don't have to compete with anyone. Making sure that you are financially stable and free is the ultimate goal. So you are your only competition. Make sure that you don't make this harder for yourself. Okay? So when you set your plan of action in place, there's a few things that I want you to keep in mind. Things to keep in mind is how quickly you want to reach your goal. What can you cut back on? So any type of budget, making any adjustments that you need to your day-to-day spending habits. Basically, in your plan of action, just figuring out what I need to do today to be a step ahead tomorrow. Yeah? So it's moving on to step 5. Monitor your progress and make adjustments if necessary. Now that you've made your financial plan, it is your responsibility to kind of keep track of your progress. See if anything is working. If things are not working, what can you adjust to make it so that you get on the right track? If that means you aren't spending, you're not sticking to your budget because you're spending more in this area, then how can you reevaluate your spending so that you're shifting your finances to other places so that you can get on the right track? Because you've already done the work. Just by setting the financial plan in place is doing the work. Now you just have to stick to it and be disciplined. So make adjustments. If it seems like you are actually ahead of schedule and you are reaching your goal sooner than you expected it to, maybe push yourself, give yourself an extra challenge and say, hey, I want to reach this goal by this time. Now I'm setting a different goal by this date. You know, don't give yourself too much leeway because you don't want to get too relaxed in it, but also don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. Understand that we are all human. We do make mistakes. We make business mistakes all the time. We're gonna have emergencies that come. Finances will shift as the economy shifts. That's just natural. We have to kind of adjust. We have to be willing to adjust with the economy, and we have to know how to bounce back. But we also have to be adaptable, and we have to be willing to make those types of adjustments. So make sure that you're keeping track of your progress and making any adjustments if necessary. Alright guys, that's pretty much all that I have for you all today. Comment below if this video was helpful in any way. I tried my best to at least break down the basics of what the financial planning process is. Again, comment below if me breaking down like assets and liabilities is something that is interesting to you, or something that is unclear and you would like a little more clarification on that. I would love to try and dive into that a little bit. And yeah, as always guys, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next Wealth Wednesday. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.